Good morning. So now we are going to begin our session on data science. So I'll share my screen first. So what about data science? Data science is an evolving subject. It has no single definition. It requires a range of skills. It can vary from domain to domain. You can have its implications in financial domain, in healthcare domain, in IT, in basically it is used for coming up with some good insights from data itself. So here we have a definition. So data science is the exploration and quantitative analysis. It is basically exploration and a quantitative analysis, not a qualitative one, although we can incorporate qualitative insights as well. But here the focus is on quantitative analysis, on available structured and unstructured data. So there are two types of data, basically a structured one and an unstructured data. A structured data is the one we have in tabular form, or basically what we have in Excel sheets or CSV formats. Those kinds of data are usually referred to as a structured data. So unstructured data may be image data or video analytics or something like speech or text. So those kinds of data which cannot be tabulated. So those are generally referred to as an unstructured data. So we need to develop an understanding and extract knowledge. We have to extract knowledge and formulate actionable results. Data science, what is data science? Data science is a quantitative analysis about structured and unstructured data to extract knowledge and formulate actionable insights and results. So the goal is to move from the data to action. And between data and action is a decision. So decision making involves a lot of manual process. So data gives us information about what happened. We can have this information in an Excel format. So it gives us information what happened, how many stores were there, how many accidents were there, how many medicines were there, any kind of data it could be. So then it comes, why did it happen? So we can make some analysis and do some exploratory analysis. Basically we do some exploration over the data and we can understand why something happened, some accidents happened, or maybe we can do some group analysis and reduce the manual process and do some analysis. Next comes what will happen. So this is basically predictive analysis. So we can predict what will happen, how monsoon will affect, or whether there will be rain or not, how well it will affect the soil. So then accordingly we can make some decision and corresponding action we can take. So then there is what should I do? So this is basically prescriptive power of the analytics. We have a decision support and some decisions can be automated based on the information that we extract. Something like based on news information, we can do some automatic buying of ads or something like that. We can do a lot of analysis. So basically the process of manual intervention goes on decreasing. In every transformation from data to action involving decision, we have to reduce the manual process in between. So next is about data scientists and data. So data scientists are obsessed with data. So we have to find data first. First is find data sources. What are the data sources that are available from where we can extract data or mine data, we can collect data. And then is acquiring that data. How can we acquire the data? The next step involves cleaning and transformation of data into some valid formats or the data we can perform some analytics upon. And then we have to understand the relationships between the data, the relationship between different columns, different features, and then we deliver value from that data. We come up with some insights and we develop models and then prescribe and predict. So those kinds of stuff we do. So I'll explain some of the analytics that we have. So first, this is the retrospective analytics. The retrospective analytics basically involves some kind of BI tools like Power BI or Tableau. We come up with line graph, bar graph, charts, pie charts. Then there is real-time analytics. So real-time analytics basically involves streaming technologies like we have in Netflix or YouTube, or time series analysis that we do on real-time data. And then there is predictive analytics. We can predict stuff. And then we have intelligent SaaS apps. SaaS is basically software as a solution. So we can build some intelligent insights into our applications and come up with some good analysis. So predictive and prescriptive are more or less used similar context, but there is a lot of difference between predictive and prescriptive powers. So predictive basically depends on calibration of the past data. We understand past data, which tells us what to expect or what will happen in the future. So prescriptive analysis tells us what actions to take. For example, we can take the ongoing series, the world test that's going on. We can predict how many runs Virat Kohli will make, or how many runs uh, Rishabh Pant will make. Will India win or not? We can make some prediction based on the historical data or past performances, or on the basis of pitch report or weather report. All those things we can take into account and come up with some predictive analytics. So now prescriptive analysis tells us what actions actually the batsman or the bowler need to take in order to be more effective, in which areas uh, the batsman should play, or which are his strong areas, or we can prescribe to the bowler which areas he should bowl, which are the weak areas for the batsman to get him out, or basically we can prescribe actions based on the data. So these are the differences between predictive and prescriptive analysis. So now we'll understand something about KDD, knowledge development database, CRISP, data mining, CCC, big data pipelines. So data mining is only one of those steps, but it is an important one. We all have some similar steps in all these models, but data mining is one of the important steps. So here it is. So big data was first coined by Cox and Ellsworth in 1997. So this is according to the CCC big data pipeline. So here we have acquisition of the data, cleaning of the data, annotation, like we discussed earlier. Then we integrate and aggregate the data, and then we do some modeling, and then we interpret the model. So these are some of the issues that we face: heterogeneity, scale, timeliness, privacy, human collaboration. So this was CRISP. Now we have KDD, knowledge discovery in database. So this was developed much before the model that we talked just now. So this is very similar to the CRISP model. It has similar steps like we do selection, pre-processing of data, data transformation, and then data mining. Data mining is again one of the steps for this KDD process, and then we interpret, we develop some BI model and identify some patterns, and then extract information from the pre-processed and transformed data. So this is basically CRISP. So this was CCC model, right? cross-industry standard process for data mining. So we have some business understanding, then we do some data understanding, understanding of the data. First, we have a business understanding, that is we formulate the problem itself, we understand, we spend some time on business requirements, what is the actual thing that we want from data. Then we do some data crunching, data wrangling, and then understand the data. A lot of time is spent. So these are all iterative processes. You can see the business requirement keeps on changing, and data, we understand data, we then again go back to the business, and then again some changes to the data are made until our requirement is satisfied. Then we move to next step, we identify the project objectives, and we collect review data, and then basically comes the data preparation and data modeling stuff. So this is again our iterative process. We select and clean the data, remove unnecessary variables and missing values, and then we do modeling, evaluation, and deployment. So all these are iterative processes. So the stages are basically the same no matter who invents or reinvents the process, KDD, data mining. All the data science is an iterative process. The backward arrows represents the same in all those models. These are the models. So now we can discuss a case study. So in New York, there was a peak demand for electricity. This infrastructure is old enough and dates back to the time when Thomas Edison was there. There are a lot of power failures, and we want to determine, or we want to prioritize the manhole inspections basically. Manholes, maybe fires, explosions, outages, manhole events. But this is a real problem that we want to solve. That there are a lot of power cuts and infrastructure issues, fires, explosions, and all these problems are real time. So we need to do all that data mining, data crunching, data wrangling, and building model and policy construction. So all these steps we'll discuss in detail now. So the steps involved would be, first we have to understand the business, the knowledge discovery process. First we have to understand the business and assess the opportunity. Then we understand the data, how to get data, data acquisition, then we do data cleaning and data transformation, then we'll build a model, then we'll discuss policy construction, then we'll evaluate the model and the matrices, and then finally we deploy the model and we update the model. So in opportunity and business understanding, we have to be very, very careful about and specific about the goals. We cannot be very vague about our goals and business problems. So we have to access the predictive accuracy for predicting manhole events. So this could be a very good problem. Predict the manhole events before they happen, in the year before they happen. So this could be goal one. Another could be a cost benefit analysis for inspection policies. So this could be another goal. So these kinds of opportunities are there, and we have to understand the business accordingly. So next comes data understanding and acquisition. So there is, like, first we understand the data. What kind of data do we have and what kind of data have we collected? So this could be a trouble tickets, free text document that are available, the records of information about the manholes, the records of information about the underground cables, electric shock information, any serious events, information about serious events, inspection reports, vented data, how many manholes are covered, how many are vented, all those kind of information that we have collected, we have to understand those data. So these are basically two types of V's in big data. People who understand big data know better that there are 4 to 6 V's for big data, and this variety and veracity are two of the important V's for big data. So variety is the variety of data that we can collect, we have, and veracity is basically how trustworthy the information is. And this is one of the paradigms in big data, that we cannot trust the data. The data sources keeps on changing, and everything is basically changing at fast speed. So we cannot trust the sources of our data. We have to work with that. Then we do data cleaning and data transformation. We transform the free text into structured format, into trouble tickets into a vector form like year, monthly data, day, how many manholes are involved. Then we integrate the data, integrate the tables, unique identifiers. We have primary, secondary keys. These are database transformations. Then we build the model. So predictive modeling is often used synonymously with machine learning and statistical modeling. So if you want an answer to a question like yes or no, so this could be a classification problem. For example, the manholes explode next year, yes or no. We have to answer questions like that based on the data that we have collected and the model that we have built. We have to come up with insights. Look, other one could be if you want to predict a numerical value. So how many incidents could be there? Give a basically numerical value for this. So this could be a regression problem. So if you want to have some group observations, we want to group some data and come up with some analysis for a group, like there could be a financial domain problem, how many customers to give loan to. We have to identify some very good clusters, who are our best customers, who are our worst customers. So those kinds of stuff is done in clustering. Now, if we want to recommend some item, like we want to recommend a book or a movie or a product, so these could be recommender systems. There are many machine learning problems. So these are some of the basic ones that we have discussed here. So now comes the policy construction. So how will your model be used to change the policy? This is basically prescriptive. So model building is predictive and policy construction is prescriptive. For manholes, how should we recommend changing the inspection policy based on our model? Consider using social media customer purchase data. Once the model is created, how to optimize the shops. So these are some of the descriptions or recommendations that we can give, how to optimize the shops and how to change the inspection policy. So these are part of policy construction. Then we have deployment. So deployment is again a very, very important step, but most of the projects fail. So here is an important saying, but says don't bother doing the project in the first place if no one plans to deploy it. And there should be realistic timelines. 95% of the projects are failed after having a proof of concept. While the model is deployed, it will need to be updated and improved. After the model has been deployed, it needs to be updated regularly and improved based upon the features and the variables that we get. So we need to update those regularly. So then comes evaluation. How do you measure the quality of the result? This is again a difficult task. So the model works as accurately as the data we have. So this is the ground truth. So for manhole problems, we had engineers at Con Edison who withheld the high quality of recent data and conducted a blind test. So results were very, very poor. So that's it. So we can revisit our model again. So these were the steps that CRSP had. So we had business understanding and then data understanding, and then we did some data preparation, modeling, evaluation of the model, and the deployment phase. All these are iterative processes. So we need to have some basic understanding. We'll discuss more about data science and the steps involved in future lectures. Thank you for today.